In the vast, muddy, unforgiving fields of World War II Europe, tanks decided the fate of the battlefield. The German war machine boasted its engineering marvels, the powerful Tiger, the formidable Panther, machines built for dominance. But America had something else, something arguably more decisive. This is the M4 Sherman Tank. It was not the heaviest, it was not the best protected, but it was the backbone of the Allied ground effort, a machine built not for single combat glory, but for mass production and collective victory. It was fast, reliable, and, most importantly, it was everywhere. Today, Aviation Tales reveals the true, complex story of the tank that, against all odds, won the war, the M4 Sherman, and the brave American crews who took a flawed machine and drove it relentlessly to victory. The philosophy behind the M4 Sherman was uniquely American. It was a complete rejection of the European obsession with perfection. While Germany spent weeks meticulously crafting a single custom-built Tiger tank, America was focused on one thing: volume. The Sherman was designed for speed of production and simplicity. It used a radial aircraft engine that was readily available. Its parts were interchangeable. It was easy to train a crew to operate it, and if it broke down in the field, mechanics could cannibalize parts from almost any other Sherman to quickly get it back in the fight. This American industrial capability was a weapon in itself. By the time the war ended, the U.S. had produced nearly 50,000 Sherman tanks and its variants. For every one German Tiger, the Allies could deploy 10, sometimes 20 Shermans. But this focus on quantity came with a terrifying price. When the Sherman finally met the fearsome German heavy tanks in the open fields of Europe, the disparity was brutal. The German Tiger's armor was thicker, and its 80mm cannon could pierce the Sherman's hull from distances the Sherman couldn't even reach. The Sherman's 75mm gun often struggled to penetrate the front armor of the Tiger or Panther. American crews needed to get dangerously close, putting themselves into the path of an enemy gun that was almost guaranteed to kill them. But the most devastating truth about the early Sherman models was their vulnerability to fire. The way the ammunition was stored meant that when the tank was hit in the wrong spot, the ammunition could detonate and rapidly engulf the tank in an inferno. German troops quickly gave the Sherman a chilling, cynical nickname, the Ronson, referring to a popular cigarette lighter. It lights up first time, every time. This flaw created a deep psychological burden for the 5 men sealed inside the Sherman. They were tankers, but they often felt like they were driving a mobile coffin. They knew their armor was inadequate. They knew one well-placed shot meant instant, fiery death. Their survival depended not on the tank's armor, but on their speed, coordination, and sheer audacity. They adapted. They innovated. American tank commanders developed the famous 3-on-1 strategy. Instead of engaging a mighty Tiger or Panther 1-on-1, which was suicidal, they would attack in a pack. 2 Shermans would speed toward the mighty German tank, firing rapidly to create confusion and draw its deadly attention. Meanwhile, the 3rd Sherman would circle fast, aiming for the vulnerable side or rear armor where the protection was thinnest. This tactic required incredible courage. The lead Sherman crews knew they were the bait, willingly putting themselves in the direct path of the enemy's most feared gun to give their comrades the critical moment to deliver the kill shot. This was not a victory of technology. It was a victory of human willpower and cooperation conquering German steel. The Americans innovated constantly. They adapted the Sherman, adding concrete slabs, sandbags, and finally, a more powerful 76mm high-velocity gun in later models. The Jumbo variant received extra steel armor to compete with the heavy German guns. But the core message remained the same. The Sherman won because it never stopped coming. The German army could produce a slightly superior tank, but they could not match the volume, the adaptability, and the relentless drive of the American war machine. For every Tiger the Allies lost, the Germans would lose 2 more, and they had no way to replace their losses. The constant pressure applied by the endless columns of Shermans was overwhelming. The legacy of the M4 Sherman is the legacy of the tank crews, men who willingly climbed into a flawed machine, knowing its weaknesses, but trusting their training and trusting the fact that behind every one of them there were 10 more Shermans coming. They were the men who drove their imperfect yet indomitable machine to ultimate victory, securing the Allied triumph on the ground. Join us next time on Aviation Tales as we continue to honor the machines and heroes of the greatest generation. Subscribe now.